It's a very, very fast game. It's got interchangeable subs, obviously, but you're still tested fitness-wise, but most of all your skills. And out of it, I think we've seen some different passing skills arise. It's a little bit like one-day cricket or 50-over cricket. All of a sudden we see batsmen doing stuff that we didn't think was possible, and touch has done that for both league and union, I think. Hi, I'm Steve Hansen, and I was lucky enough to be selected in the first New Zealand touch team. It was a pleasure and an honour to represent the country.
My cool style while I greet the funk with my MΑORI. One up off and up on my bass guitar. My skills allow me break the tension or the tackle like Jonah Lomu on attack. I paid my dues from here to Timbuktu and back. Mad if I have my crew up in the house, it makes the difference. It is my preference. I still pursue to inject you with my hoariest intelligence. So intelligent, make way for the native of all back on your. Behold my cool style while I greet the funk with my MAORI. Incredible, lyrical, and original.
Robinson, now the backs surely will have a go here. Oh, nicely done, Eric Rush.
Touch was huge for me because you had to be fit. You had to have the ball skill part of it was a real bonus.
Yeah, I think they've created about 4 new grades now. There's over 35 men's. Over 27 women's, which was last year, but they've also got a whole lot of secondary schools competitions going now as well. So more people are playing it. Yeah.
You look at the Black Ferns sevens team. Most of their girls have played touch, and you can see it. And it's the same with the Aussie side. Their girls have a lot of touch background as well. So it's hugely beneficial if you're a sevens player. But a lot of the guys who went on to play in the All Blacks, Mills Muliaina and guys like that, Sean Johnson, they all touch backgrounds, Richie Mo'unga, they're all very sharp touch players. It's a huge help when you're playing the tackle side of the game as well.
Pā, paia, he kēmu I poipoi te huhua o ngā whetū hākinaki no te motu. Mā rake ana te kitea I te tīma wahine takiwhetū.
Look, I'm a Hati Tūhoi girl, proud to be from Ruatoki, and the club I grew up for back in Whakatane was Two Styles. They still have a team in the local competition back there, which is so cool to see. Heaps of new faces, which is awesome. Touch has played a massive role in my life and my community with my whānau, because every weekend, every week, there was always touch training and there was always a tournament somewhere in the country. So whatever team I played in, whether it was rep level, club level, school level, with multiple different players, different teams, and it was cool because, you have that sense of whānau, you have that sense of belonging, playing in the touch tournaments, in the touch community. And mum and dad were always there, my siblings were always there, cousins were always there, and that's what I loved about the whakawhanaungatanga of the touch whānau.
Now looking to open up, Waaka, flipping Winiata, this time it does go to Salika, she gives up to Wycliffe in the corner, diving in Renee Wycliffe.
Toa Renee Wycliffe Woodman I ngā ipu o te ao, I ngā taitara takiwhetū, waihoki he hononga roa tōna ki te pā.
Why did I get into touch? I suppose I liked the idea of stepping. I think growing up with brothers and a lot of boy cousins, a lot of them like to step, and I was quite competitive and wanted to learn something like that. So I took up touch, and that's probably why I started, really. For me to represent Aotearoa and wear a black singlet, it was a really cool feeling. For myself and I guess for my mum, the sacrifices she had to do and fundraise and stuff for me to play for the country, but to travel as well. It wasn't necessarily a cheap sport back then, or we weren't getting paid or anything like that, but the idea of just representing my country and my whānau and friends, that was huge.
He kai tākaro whakawhiti a Niall Williams-Guthrie. Nōna e te kaumāwhitu te pakeke, ka eke ia hei kai tākaro mo te motu.
Yeah, so I grew up playing with Galaxy Touch Club. I was lucky enough when I was about 12, a guy called Peter Walters came over and asked if I wanted to play some touch footy with his team. And at the time, it's a funny story, at the time I was playing with a friends team and we had won the comp and I didn't know who Pete was and I kind of said, oh, why would I go play for that team when our team's like the champions? And then my family friend said, we're the champions of B grade, like you want to go play in Galaxy, that's the club. So yeah, I said yes and yeah, probably played alongside Pete for 15, 20 years after that, 15 years. I think you only, not just myself, but if you look at a lot of athletes who have done some cross codes somewhere, they've probably played a game of touch or, you know, been right in the thick of things and all the skills you have from touch, and I said it from day one since I started playing New Zealand Sevens, that every single skill I've acquired through touch has helped me on my Sevens journey and has really helped me to become the player that I have been across the last few years, so yeah.
He toki whutu pōro pā Sheree Kaka nōna I te kura.
I grew up in Hamilton, unfortunately. Nah. I grew up in Hamilton in a little, I don't know if it's not even little. I grew up in Norton, went to Corshaw Primary and then went to Hamilton Girls High School. And I played touch all through primary. That's how I found the love for sport, I think. My whole family played it and we all went to the different tournaments together in Ngatea and Auckland, and all the families travelled together too. So it was, from the get-go, it was always a family event. And that's went through all Waikato touch as well. So yeah, I'm a proud Waikato girl. Oh, there's heaps of us Blackfern Sevens players that have played touch. Some that haven't, Portia, Woodmore, Wycliffe and Ruby too, I'm looking at you. Because every time we had to play touch to warm up and everything, yeah, they were on the wing, just catching the ball wide, because trust me, off the mark, not a thing to them. They don't understand what it is. But then you've got Stacey Waaka, Tyla King now, Tanika Willison, Niall Williams. Yeah, there's heaps of us that have been lucky enough to play touch, and then those skills transfer into what we're doing today. So yeah, I think there's plenty of people all across the world too, even in our fellow Aussie teams too. So touch is something we definitely should be grateful for. The game of touch gave me everything, if I'm being honest. The game of touch gave me an escape from what was happening at home. Mum and Dad got a divorce, and so that's quite hard for a young kid to take. So being able to go out and play touch and have early morning trainings and just have people to count on, that's probably what touch gave me. Again, it gave me a sense of community, it gave me family, it gave me hundreds of aunties that I could count on, and lifelong friends that I still talk to today. So yeah, gave me everything.
He kai tākaro whakawhiti hoki a Tyla King. E rua ngā mētara kaura Olympia ko riro i aia. He kai tākaro whutupauro pā ia no mai anō.
It was like one of the first sports that I played growing up. My mum represented New Zealand in touch. It's actually through touch is how my parents actually originally met each other. So I guess I got to thank touch for that, bringing them together. But yeah, it's where I started, where I'd say I learned a lot of my core skills that I still have today, like the catching, the passing, I guess the vision and decision making as well that comes along with the sport. It's unlike any other, it's unlike rugby and rugby league where, you try and sometimes, just run to the side of somebody and you bust through tackles and all that kind of stuff. Like touch, you actually have to be evasive and learn how to manipulate the defenders in order to score the tries and not be touched at all. So, I'm grateful for the background and upbringing that I've had through the sport of touch and what it brought me and the skills that it helped me develop as a young child through to my teen years and then adulthood that I was then able to take into these other sports like rugby, rugby sevens and rugby league.
Being brought up in a sporting family, I guess, got me into all the sports and I just pushed myself.
When you're growing up and you're you're playing touch, that's something that you inspire to one day make, you know. You see and you hear about the touch blacks, or like, you know, from conversations in my whānau talking about, you know, how my mum played for New Zealand and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's something that you want to do, you know, to actually have that opportunity to play touch for my country, which was one of my first goals as a young kid growing up. That was a pretty special moment.
A couple of the boys are humbled by the fact that they could hear somebody chasing, they thought they were in the clear, the next minute, oh my gosh, there's someone chasing me down, it's a girl, what? That is the best feeling in the world.
And their star winger may be 32, but she has a cunning plan to make up for any loss.
You just run at all the slow people, it makes you look fast, it's good.
Vanessa Coots, ko tētahi o ngā tino kaiwhakaeke I te whutupōro, te tuarua o ngā kaipiro mā ngā mamaku. Tuia ki tērā, he kai tākoro pā omua.
Vanessa Coots, Christy Judd won't get there and Coots has scored. They're on the board at 7-1.
If I had to pick my pathway now, I would have still kept touch in the mix because it showed me heaps of things. Some of that pressure moment stuff which I got at international level and other codes, yeah, those quick decisions, you can't beat it on a touch field. Especially playing against guys, with guys, some of our girls who super silky fast. Our Waikato team in particular, we had Jenny-May, we had Lewis Wall, we had Liam Walker, we had myself, so there's a whole bunch of us that went on to other international platforms, and we all started together in a little old hub in Waikato, and, you know, sort of made honours from there, so it's got to have a big part to play, yeah.
Wahine mai tā ne mai, I pakeke mai hoki a Richie Mo'unga, kai tākoro te kapa opango I te whutupōro pā.
It was 2009, I just arrived at St Andrews College. I'd come from a school, Riccarton High School, that didn't have a touch team. So coming into Stack was a big part of that. There was a touch coach here by the name of Phil Adams, who'd represented Canterbury and knows a lot about the game, who basically asked me to trial for the team, and I think touch was something that really had to make me think about tactics, vision, instincts, and ball playing ability, which was what I learned here at Stack.
How do you rate this final compared to last year's one?
It's definitely better, you know, seeing as we won, but
yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good to come back and go one better, so very thankful for that.
The fondest memory would be winning touch nationals in 2012 in the mixed grade. We had lost the final before in 2011. In 2010 we dropped out in the semis. So having that experience and having that sort of the heartache and the disappointment led to an awesome season in 2012, which was huge for us players, but probably more so rewarding because we had a coach that poured a whole lot of love and effort into the team, and to see him be rewarded for that was probably the most special thing.
Whāia, nā tana toanga I te tauwhāinga akura I whai wāhi ai a Richie ki te tīma pāpanga.
Mo'unga lobs the ball, it's a Harbour Bridge pass.
Yeah, it was far. I was just shocked, really. Someone that was pretty new to the game of touch, and obviously I was still in school at that point, so to find out that I'd made the team was a really proud moment. But as I've found out, there's no better honour in sport or whatever it is to represent your country, and to have that opportunity and to do it at a young age in somewhere like Mudgee, Australia, was pretty humbling.
E hara ia Richie anake te opango me tētahi taonga akura. Engari ko nehe Milner-Skudder tētahi, te whakatinanatanga o te pūmanawa Māori.
Milner, straight away pick up 20 easy metres.
So I think our first national championship was in 04 in Napier, playing for QC again. We played Papakura. What was probably the most special one about that was having the older bro jam in that. Heaps of sort of young family friends that we sort of played juniors with that were still in the same team, and yeah, to win a national title was mean.
And 2, and Nehe Milner and 9 working together, trying to put a play on the same defender, and it works again. The Milner brothers in tandem.
Yeah, touch was probably my first go-to sport. I always tell the story of having an older brother and used to sort of just tag along to his trainings and his games and stuff and jam with him and his mates. So yeah, bro, earliest memories of any sort of sport was chucking a touch ball around and being at heaps of touch modules and training. So yeah, bro, for me that's been yeah, a sport that I always sort of reflect on fondly and still try and see how I go nowadays as well.
Milner-Skudder needs a play into the end goal, and Binstead.
E rua tau kahipa, ka hoki anō a nehe ki te whiringa toa amotu. I tēnei wā, hei kaiarahi mo tana kapa ki te taitara tuarua.
Out to the left-hand side, Hina Turner.
Fast forward a few years later on, I think it was 07, having the Nationals in Palmy sort of on the home turf. Yeah, that was pretty mean too, and yeah, I remember that being quite a close game. Actually, we were down against Papakura. I think we ended up being down by 3 or 4 at one stage and sort of peaked it back to being a draw, and then we got 1 try at the end. And yeah, when that final whistle went, it was more relief than sort of, you know, being overjoyed or being stoked. I was kind of, yeah, just proud that we'd won. Yeah, at home there was heaps of friends and family watching the game too, and yeah, for us to come back from sort of a big deficit early on, yeah, it was pretty cool too. Oh yeah, bro, I love sort of pumping up my old kura, Queen Hapiti, Queen Elizabeth College. Sort of when people ask me, oh, you know, where you from, Palmy, they sort of immediately associate me with Palmy boys being one of the biggest schools, but no, I'm quick to sort of, yeah, rep QEC. And yeah, we're sort of a small school in terms of numbers and that, but touch was massive for us at school. Through my time there, we were lucky enough to win a couple of national titles in the mix. A lot of both our boys and girls that jammed went on to play reps for Manawatu and then higher up for national honours. So yeah, I'd like to say we're a bit of a breeding ground for touchies around the Manawatu scene, and yeah, quite hard case watching some of those old school clips. Yeah, man, was just skin and bones back in those days, but yeah, had to put on a bit of beef when I switched over to playing a bit of league and union later on.
Tai rawa ki te poi tūkohu, he hautupu a Leanne Walker me tōna whānau. He rongo nui no te kapa tōwhūs. Ko ia te taumata tuarua o ngā kai tākaro mo te nui o ngā kēmu i te hitori o te kapa. Ā, ta tū atu ki te pāwhutu paoro, nāna hoki te tuatahi o ngā wāhine mo te nui o ngā kēmu hei kai tākaro mo te kapa. I oroko tīmata mai tana tākaro pā i Waikato.
Kia ora koutou, ko Leanne Walker tōku ingoa, no whakatohea me te whānau apanui oku iwi.
X Factor was a club that we started just with a group of friends, and those friends built our skill base and our knowledge and the people around us so that we could represent Waikato actually. But yeah, it was just a really cool way to get all our friends playing together, and a lot of them were cross-coding, so it was something that we did in summer while our winter sports were finished. But then yeah, we formed the club X Factor, and we actually did really well. Touch, definitely, it kept me fit for my winter code, but I think just too the skills, the spacing, the timing, the lines, all of that helped in basketball as well. And then the same thing coming back, because I played basketball in winter, I was fit for the summer code. And the beauty about the sisterhood of touch is you don't have to see each other all the time, you know, every year. But when you do come back together, the connection's awesome, and you have a lot of laughs. So everybody's gone off and done their own things, but whenever there is a time for connection, I'm more than happy to share some stories and have some laughs and remember the good old times.
No, my hoki mai anō welcome back to breakfast. It was 14-7.
He ngoa rongonui anō hoki a Jenny-May Clarkson. He hautupua no ngā rauhiriwa, I kuhu hoki ia I te hā te pāpango.
keep an eye on.
And once again, good yards peeled back. And Jenny-May's just straight through the middle, and she just needs to look for a bit of support. Big pass to the wing, great try. Amy-Jean Metcalf.
Touch was like this game that we all absolutely loved, but we also knew that it cost us to go to nationals, that it cost us to, you know, be at a tournament that we wanted to be at. And so we wanted to give it everything because we loved the game so much and we wanted to show people how it should be played. But the interesting thing for me, there came a crunch time with netball where our club coach said you're going to have to make a decision about what you play. And that was put to both Amy Jean and I, because both of us were playing both sports at the time. And we really pushed back at that. For me, netball was number one.
And look, she's still shaking her head.
But over time, and once I got to play, touch, and get to that top level, I realised how much I loved the sport. So we pushed back and said, actually, no, we're not choosing. We're developing it and honing our skills here in touch, and those are the skills that you want on the netball court. Mostly injuries, but also pushing yourself too much and not having the opportunity to reset and rest your body for the season that was coming up. But I think over the time, they realised, actually, this is doing the opposite. Not only are you getting everything in that you need physically in the off-season, but actually it was refreshing for us. It was a different environment, there was a different approach, different coaches, different set of girls that you know, I was playing with who didn't play netball, who weren't interested in netball, and for us all of that was refreshing. But again, this intensity and this intent to be the best that we possibly could be, and therefore that had an overflow effect for me when it came to netball. Yeah, so some concerns, but I think that they were put to the side once you could see the benefits of the sport.
I nā te nui o ngā pūmanawa pā e whakawhiti ana I ngā momo hākinakina. Mai ngā papa tākaro ki ngā papa whutupōro. Ai rāpea, ka kite anō ētahi o rātou me te hā te pango.
Touch World Cup. So there's a Touch World Cup in 2028. Do you think we might see you there?
I'd love to. I mean, I'd love to put the black singlet on again. I just don't know if my knees would agree with it. Backpedaling might be a little bit tough for the knees, but hey, you never know, you might see me back on the field again, which would be pretty cool.
2028, if my knees, I'm talking to you, if you can stay good for 2028, that's me, I'm there. Touch World Cup in New Zealand, so keen.
But that's something I'm looking forward to be honest. I talk with my great friends all the time about, you know, when footy is over, you know, we'll be rocking in for the Masters and giving it a good crack.
Oh gosh, 2028 is when it is, eh? Oh, well, hey, I'll say, you never say never, but it might not be for the Open Women's team, eh? It might be for maybe an Overs team, because I'm 30 at the moment, and I know there's some good young ones coming through the touch scene at the moment. So I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with them in the Open Women's, but hey, maybe an over 30s team. That sounds pretty cool.
I would absolutely love to play in the 2028 Touch World Cup. I don't know what team, I don't know if I'm going to be retired from rugby then. I'm just kind of taking it year by year. But there is a hope and a dream to be there playing, because I know it's on home soil. It'll be pretty cool to represent our country here. And just to almost go back to the sport where I grew my first love with touch, with sport in general. It'll be pretty special pulling on that black touch jersey again if I did get the chance.